Well, good morning. Breakfast with the broker every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. And you know what? I'm in New York, and I figured I'd give you a little highway sound, a little music, a little fireplace behind me if you could see. I don't know if you can see, actually. It's somewhere over there. Anyway, it's a little cold out here, so I just wanted to thank you very much for coming in and tuning in. So, without further ado, I wanted to give a very, very warm intro. And now, by way of Aurora, Illinois, she's the managing of learning content and designer at ReMax LLC. She just had a birthday on October 30th. Happy birthday! She recently got to watch the Ryder Cup, and who doesn't have a little 50 Shades of Gray? I love her words to live by: be positive and be present. She's taller than most and shines bright. Stand up and make some noise for Michelle Hoyt.
Woo! Wow, I've never had an intro like that. Sounds like you've been doing some research on my Facebook timeline.
I know, it's a little creepy, isn't it?
No, actually, it's all good. So hi everyone. Good morning from the Chicago area. It is a brisk 29 degrees here this morning. So
Oh my god.
I know. So I don't. What is it there in New York?
It's 54 degrees, and it's really comfortable, actually, from a Floridian saying that anyway.
I'm sure. My sister lives in Plantation, so just south of all of you, and
Sure.
and I get to go visit her for the holidays. I can't wait.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about you. And you say manager of learning and design. What does that entail, and how did you get that role?
So, it's interesting because in the corporate world, titles are certainly needed in some capacity, but a lot of times it encompasses so much more. And because that's just one of the things that I do. My journey at REMAX has happened over 8 years. And I started with REMAX Integra, which was the largest independent region of REMAX. As a lot of you probably saw all the news this summer that ReMax Integra was acquired by ReMax LLC. So I have been a technology and skills trainer, a regional trainer for ReMax Integra for quite some time. I even took a little bit of time away from that and did about a year of franchise sales for ReMax, and I did that here in the Chicago area. Most of my tenure has been in training. So my career started in new home sales. So it's always been all about housing and real estate and things like that. So just a passion of mine. And my degrees in interior design, so a lot of stuff related. But I ended up here at Remax because I was working at Realtor.com, and the rest is history. So I was aligned with Remax of Indiana, Remax of Michigan, and when my position got eliminated at Realtor.com, they came to me and said, "Well, you should come work for Remax." And I have never been happier in my career than my 8 years here at this amazing brand. So it's been all really good. And in the acquisition from coming over from Remax Integra, ReMax University is the arm that I'm part of, and ReMax University has obviously there's a lot going on in the ReMax University world, and a lot of it has to do with what's going on the learning site of ReMax University, and it's all reinvented. And there's a lot of strategies that go behind the content that is put onto a learning platform, and I've learned even more in the last year and a half about that. And, we all learn differently. So, some of you like to do 100% online learning. Some of you like to have a good mix of live and some online learning. And then some of you just prefer live. And I know that was a struggle during the pandemic. But our goal is to make sure at ReMax University that you have the right training at the right time in the right format. So the new RU is mobile responsive. And part of what I do with my team is we actually have an actual instructional designer that works behind the scenes. And she's been designing a lot of the boot camps and learning tracks. So I've been kind of helping facilitate some of that. I'm also a front facing facilitator. So I haven't typically been that behind the scenes person. And I've been working a lot with new licensees, and especially in the last few years. But I am trained and well versed in anything from Boosh to Design Center to Megaphone to selling skills and then some. So that's a lot of what I'm doing. But content and design, like I said, when you take a course, just think about there's actually so much that goes into that. It starts with an outline, then it becomes a slide deck, and then it becomes what's the right order and how do you tell the story. And it has to make logical sense for you as agents to kind of work through. And it's kind of like the buildup, just like every time I create a presentation, get them in the beginning, really hook you, get your attention. And then obviously the buildup from there, but it has to make sense. The modules have to be in the right order. And that's something that will always be, something that's happening and ongoing on ReMax University.
So what's interesting is that the tracks, right? So you
Mhm.
look at all the master tracks, the team tracks, the new agent tracks, and such, and as that evolved, it became easier as broker owners to really do that. But this show is not just about Remax, and what I wanted to kind of get into in the value of kind of what we're doing on maybe an education and content level. What are you seeing? How are we going to learn differently, maybe in the future? Is there something that's coming up that you say, hey, you know what, I think that everyone's going to be doing these things? Because tracks started a few years ago, and now we're all kind of like, oh, where's the next track? What's going to happen, kind of thing. So maybe shed a little bit of light on that.
No, it's a great question, David. And in general, let's break this down a little bit. So one of the things, so first of all, I'm a student of learning as well. I have learned so much from the agents over the years, from selling and buying my own homes. In fact, it inspired me so much, I went and got my real estate license. So this is all just a recent development. And I want to talk
Well,
about.
I'm pretty sure everyone has a real estate license, but it's crazy.
Well, it's
I'm just
interesting.
kidding.
A lot of people thought I had it. When I sold homes for a builder all those years, it wasn't required, but I have been primarily on the technology training side here at REMAX. But working with the new licensees just really kind of motivated me. But I've learned so much from the engagement and all the training courses. I used to be out live and everything else, but my experience in taking the Illinois broker exam, I just passed the exam on October 23rd, so it's very fresh. And yeah, thank you. You have to be a broker here, and there is reciprocity with Florida, so who knows someday. The thing that's interesting is I had three choices. I could go all live courses, live instructor led. Now it's all back now after, post pandemic. That would have taken a long time. And some of you may have done that when you first got your license. Then there was a hybrid. It was all online, but some of it was instructor led, live, interactive, and then partially self paced. I took the 100% self paced, and that's because that's what worked best for my schedule. And I think if you were to ask this question of anyone 2 years ago, they would have said, oh, most real estate professionals prefer live training. They want to be there, they want to interact, they want to network, especially technology, because with technology, you need someone showing you where to click and where to go for different places and things like that. So what's happening right now, though, I think there needs to be options. And that's what we want to provide. Not to mention the fact that the US is a big country. The REMAX University team can't be everywhere all at once as much as we would like to be and to see all of you more regularly. So that's kind of what's going on in the world today in the way of learning and methods, how to get to it, when you want to get to it. But more importantly, it needs to be available whenever, wherever, on demand.
Absolutely. The skills that people possess now, they're continuing to learn and continuing to hone in on a lot of their skills. And the things that keep coming up are like artificial intelligence. How is that going to really change? Maybe not just I guess not just the way we do business, but the learning and the content that comes with it, and kind of learning kind of how I creeped on your profile. AIs and robots doing the same kind of thing. So you know, what are you working with as far as artificial intelligence? Is there, something that you're looking at, that may be coming down the pike that maybe you just give us a little tease or something, or maybe it's just right now you're just working on great content going forward.
No, that's a really good point to bring up. So where is the future of all of this? I mean, I think online learning is just going to grow. In fact, if you get those ReMax social calendars that we get off of the marketing portal, October 15th was dedicated Online Learning Day. I didn't know that was a thing. So it's like a national thing. But I think that's a really good point when it comes to artificial intelligence. I think it's going to get to a point, if it's not already, where just like when you go look at a pair of shoes on Zappos and then you go to a different website and your shoes are sitting there. And there's going to be a lot of that when it comes to online advertising and things like that. But I think, for instance, one of the things I want you to all think about is not just to learn inside the industry. There are so many other ways you can get better at what you do outside of the industry with learning content. There is a ton of free learning content on LinkedIn. And this is just like business learning. And especially if you're newer to real estate and you're coming from a W-2 position where you've never had to run your own business, I mean, there's just some really good things there. Entrepreneur.com is also a great source. And for all of you as small business owners, they have incredible content. There's all kinds of webinars, free resources, things like that. But the one thing I do want to say is there's a ton of content. We're going to continue to put more on ReMax University, but whenever you get those emails, and I know, trust me, there's a ton of emails that come at you from Inman and RIS Media, pay attention to those because there are free webinars that these top industry coaches are providing. Verl Workman, Tom Ferry, you'll have obviously Jared James, but I mean, these are coming at you. These are really expensive, normally, industry coaches that are willing to go out there. Now, they partner up with homes.com or something like that. Will they try to sell you things? Yes, they will. But the majority of the webinar or the session is really valuable content for yourself. So we still have yet to dive into artificial intelligence. I know we're headed there, and we have some really good programmers working on RU. So I'm sure we'll see some new things yet to come.
So when I look at all the education, it's kind of for the masses, right? So there are some people that are very very beginners, and and there's becoming a lot more content with the beginners. A lot more content has always existed for kind of the masses, right? But what about the advanced, right? The advanced user going in and wanting to understand what a pixel is, or understanding what how to best optimize their website, or best optimize maybe their team, who to hire. They've hired an assistant now, what personality are they looking for in a buyer's agent or something like that. Tell us a little bit about some of the advanced learning.
Oh, for sure. One of the things, so I'm a big champion of the Google My Business profile. And the Google My Business profile, I see you nodding. So if you do it and you do it well, first of all, you need to have online reviews. You will get found over and above top agents that might sell 100 million more than you per year if you have reviews on Google My Business. Now, this is where it all starts when it comes. So a lot of agents come up to me over the years and they say, what's the secret to SEO? Now, first of all, I wish I knew that, but I don't have the secret sauce. But when it comes to SEO, it's actually a lot easier than you might realize. So where it starts with that is, first of all, getting found. You have to have a Google My Business profile. That's part of it. Then, like I said, have a complete profile, put reviews on there that will be super helpful to you. Link it to your website, like do all of those important things. Right there is the big piece of it. Now, if you're using your Bouge website or any website for that matter, the next step is to optimize the site. Now, by optimizing, what that means is there are videos, by the way, on RU on how to do that, or you can find all kinds of videos on YouTube with general optimization. Optimizing your site means, what do? So if you've ever Googled something, and we all have, when you get results, you see that bluish purple headline, and then you see a little paragraph underneath it. The bluish purple headline is called a meta title. Right underneath it, it's called a meta description. You may not know this, but you can control what appears for your website by optimizing your site. On our websites here at ReMax, the Bouge websites, you can actually go in, you can go ahead and type out exactly what that bluish purple headline would say. You can type out your meta description, what these words need to indicate. It's called on-page SEO. So what this means is that when someone goes to that page, what the description is should match the content that's on that page. So that means when you have a special page that you've created dedicated to great things to do in the area or areas of interest, you should pull out and use specific keywords in the description of what's on that page. And that's actually going to help you organically with SEO without having to pay a dime. And the same thing, your homepage should be very general. Search homes, Boca Raton, Delray Beach, wherever you're specializing in, right? So, like I said, there are videos on how to do that on our system here. But if you're not inside of our system, honestly, you can find a lot of things about optimizing your site on YouTube. So, that's some of the basic stuff. And I would say, like, getting into the advanced part of it, Google Analytics. That's if you don't have a Google Analytics account tied to your website, then you're missing out because this is a way to track not only number of visitors to your website, but where are they coming from? How long are they spending on your website? If the average user is spending 4 seconds on your website and leaving, there is an experience issue, there's a content issue, or something going on that you need to investigate.
I mean, I've been a big proponent of Google Analytics. I've been, with all the big brands of websites, Real Estate Webmasters and Morgan Carey does a phenomenal job as well. And when you're looking at sites, the one thing you have to know your numbers, right? You have to know your measurement. How long they're on, where they're coming from, and those kind of things. Because if you know where they're coming from, you could actually write the site based on where most of those people are coming from, because it's a lot easier increasing your numbers when you already know your numbers for that particular area. So yeah, I agree. And Google My Business, about 2 years ago, I started really getting into it. I think I have like, I don't know, 55 reviews or whatever, but I think you want to get to 100, before you see a real, kind of influx into leads and stuff. But I've seen it just in 55 reviews, and the partnership with HomeSnap and such like that that we did. I know CoStar bought them and all that kind of stuff, but they it's actually really done a really good job with Google My Business, making it a little easier as well.
Yep, definitely, for sure. And
Um,
the other thing I was going to say is there's an entire support portal for Google My Business that is going to be super helpful from an education and resource perspective.
that's awesome, and I tell you what, so I look at companies, right, businesses and whatnot, right, and way back in the day, obviously Remax disrupted the industry and came out with real estate, our satellite, RSN satellite network, right, and it was way beyond their no one was doing that, right, and as we went through, we've kind of put less emphasis on education, until the last maybe 6 7 years, where we've just exploded it. And now when you're looking at a lot of the education for some of the main brands, it certainly has done a phenomenal job. And to you, to your team, and to Remax as a whole, you guys have done a great job with that. So we certainly appreciate it. And for those that are within the Remax brand, definitely relook at ReMax University. It was just put out there, the reinvention of it, and it looks great. It feels great, and the content's amazing. So we certainly appreciate that. So I always end the conversation on two questions. One is, what's your favorite streaming series of all time, and what are you currently watching?
Oh man, that's a tough one. How does that roll? Okay, so I traveled a ton before the pandemic. So I was one of the last people to sign up for Netflix because I'm a network TV person like Grey's Anatomy and all that kind of stuff. And I signed up for Netflix along with 16 million other people during the pandemic, so that was so funny. But I'm getting caught up on that. There's a lot of great shows on Showtime. Ray Donovan, Boardwalk Empire is one of my favorites. This is so not appropriate, but this is the name of it. But Sex and the City is one of my favorites. It's just hilarious. Actually, right now I'm watching House of Cards. And I know there's a lot of controversy around Kevin Spacey, but I heard nothing but good things about the show. I'm on the second to the last season. It's just unbelievable. It's such an incredibly well done show, and acting and the cast, and that's what really makes. I think that's what makes a really good show is the entire cast. That's what I loved about Ray Donovan, about Boardwalk Empire. Sopranos. I mean, there's so many good ones. I don't even know where to begin. I am an entertainment junkie.
Yeah, so you totally went way old school.
Yeah. Oh,
Most
yeah,
of,
I
most
did.
of the people watching now are like, yeah, I saw that like 10 years ago.
Right. And see, that's what happens when you're a road warrior. You don't get to catch up on things. But no, network
I'm just
TV.
kidding.
Yeah, that's okay. Uh,
I like so one of the newer shows that I get a kick out of is Ted Lasso. Um, it's on
that's my
Apple
next
TV.
one.
Yeah, I have a Roy effing Kent shirt, and, and people stop me and they're like, oh, only obviously it's kind of an inside joke to the Ted Lasso, but I think Ted Lasso was phenomenal. So
No, for
and
sure.
and I wouldn't recommend Squid Games, even though everyone else does. Uh,
I'm
that
still
was
I'm still trying to figure out what that is, but Billions is another good one.
oh yeah,
That's
Billions is phenomenal.
it's
Absolutely.
fantastic. Yeah, it's incredible. There's some serious wheeling and dealing going on in the financial world in that show.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So,
Yeah,
Michelle, thank you so much for coming on. You are going to be a speaker at R4. If you haven't gotten your R4 registrations are out. So get in there. As you see, I'll be running around R4 for my 17th time, I think, 17th or 18th time. So we love R4 and we love you guys and all you do. So we appreciate you.
thank
Breakfast with the
you.
Broker every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Next week, we have another special guest, and then we're off to the National Association of Realtor conference in San Diego. So we will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.